So, all right.
Intro. I'm gonna get a bottle of water. Well, you know what? It's a laptop. I can take it with me. All right. So, guys, we are watching a documentary called Football's Greatest, Zinedine Zidane. Apologies for the lateness, but you guys are gonna get 2 episodes this week. So count it all blessings. Yeah, man. This is from I think Ibrahim, who tends to give us a lot of suggestions. I'm glad it's football this time, not race. Although we could spin this one into race because I'm sure this is going to go into the France team, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna enjoy a Zidane documentary. Have hope.
Enjoy the greats, man.
Yeah, please don't rewind and fast forward and do an impossible technique with this. Okay. Anyway, let's go, man.
That's right.
Allez on. I love football, man.
This is the great sports, man.
You know what? I'm starting to appreciate classical music a bit more.
What?
I'm starting to appreciate classical music a bit more. Modric. Ooh. Okay. The GOAT!
Zizou.
He had skill and technical ability that were just out of the ordinary.
He would produce 1 or 2 pieces of skill that would just make everybody kind of go.
That's Portugal, isn't it?
Yeah, Euro 2000.
He's digging it.
All lovers of football, and not just Real Madrid fans, enjoyed that goal.
Unfortunately, that incident will remain as the last thing everyone saw Zinedine Zidane do on a football pitch.
He got robbed, man. He got away with it, man. He got away with it. Damn monitor. Marseille.
Zinedine Zidane was born and brought up here in the underprivileged Marseille suburb of La Castellane, which is home to mostly first and second generation immigrants. He's the son of Algerian parents of Kabyle origin who emigrated to France in the 1950s. Hence his middle name, Yazid, by which his close friends and family still call him today.
At school during break times, it was football. Nothing else was in his head but football. He played so much. When he finished school and went home, he'd throw his satchel down in the house and go out to this square and play football. All the time with his friends. All the time. That's all he did. Play with the ball.
Although he left here to join AS Cannes as a teenager, he's never forgotten his roots. Today he funds the local football team, La Nouvelle Vague, and is the club's honorary president. Without Zidane, these youngsters wouldn't have a team to play for.
He helps us financially and gives us a lot of support. He buys all sorts, balls, shirts, etc. And he's helped by his brother Farid. And with him, he's responsible for everything at the club.
He joined the French side AS Cannes after being spotted by their scout, the late Jean Varot, the man who Zidane regards as the biggest influence on his career. He made his first team debut aged just 17 and those who played with him at the time remember his exceptional raw talent.
À 18 ans ou à 17 ans, il était
At
déjà
18, he wasn't the great Zidane. No,
des facilités techniques, il y avait déjà
he was already gifted technically, but he wasn't strong physically.
Wasn't this the coach that we just looked at?
Yeah.
He was superb.
la technique
Luis
He had
Fernandez.
sublime skill, a superb touch, and all the moves.
gestuelle, parce qu'on
On a technical level, he was much more advanced than the rest of the team.
plus en avance sur les autres.
The French city of Bordeaux is better known for its fine wines than its football team. And that was his next destination in his rise to the top. There, Zizou didn't fully mature into the superstar he eventually became, but his quality in a better side shone through. Although he failed to help the club win any silverware during his career there, he was voted Ligue 1's best player in '96. As technical coach, Pierrot Labat played a major part in Zidane's development at Bordeaux. Zizou is the biggest success of Labat's long coaching career, which includes Zidane's former Bordeaux teammates Christophe Dugarry and Vicente Lizarazu, who also formed part of France's World Cup winning team in 1998. Labat recalls his first impressions of Zidane back in 1993.
Because he was a player who appeared introvert. In fact, he doubted himself. I attempted to instill confidence into him.
It's a nice house.
One of the first times,
Interesting
the
door.
first time, in fact, that I applied psychology in order to provide him with the self-belief that allowed him to produce his full potential.
Zidane was outstanding during his time at Bordeaux.
Oh my God.
It became inevitable that he'd move on to bigger things.
Left foot, bro.
Yeah.
Really convinced that he was going to get where he did.
Who?
It wasn't possible for me to think any
Francois
other way.
Grenier.
Mental
With a
strength,
brick.
he was level-headed and possessed the ability to question things in order to improve.
In 1996, he joined the Italian giants Juventus. Serie A was considered the world's best league back then,
Oh, is that kind
and
of
the
one
Frenchman
point?
took time to adapt to its rigors.
Maybe.
But it wasn't easy for him. It was a difficult first 6 months. The owner, Agnelli, didn't have a great deal of belief in him, and neither did his teammates. And he played a withdrawn role in the team as a defensive midfielder.
Once he was played in a more attacking role, Zidane developed into a truly world-class player. He inspired the old lady to consecutive Serie A titles in 1997 and 98.
How is it that he always looked 35? Like,
A former Juventus legend himself, to be spot on.
Michel Platini gave an interview to the Italian press in November '96 and said, "You're going to eat your words. Zidane is a playmaker. Take another look, believe in him, and watch him change." And he did change at Juve when everyone eventually put faith in him.
Immediately after that second Scudetto, Zidane represented his country at the World Cup for the first time. France was the host nation, and the last time they held a major tournament, they won it. Platini inspiring them to the title at the 1984 European Championship. Les Bleus began impressively, winning all three of their opening group games. But in the second of those, Zidane displayed the first signs of his suspect temperament. He was sent off for stamping on Saudi
Damn.
Arabia's
Oh, I remember that.
Fouad Amin. He was handed a 2-match ban. A huge blow to his country's hopes.
The French team was an impregnable fortress.
why does this guy have a? Oh,
They relied
France
on the
football. I was like, why does he have a Ballon d'Or trophy? It's
At
his
that
trophy.
time, only one goal was necessary for France to win
Freaking Ballon d'Or.
because they never conceded any.
Il a techniquement,
He had
The
skill and
legend.
technical ability that were just out of the ordinary.
que ce soit dans le contrôle, que ce soit dans la gestion.
When it came to control, and especially leading the team,
Sur le plan de jeu,
he managed to see and analyse situations quicker than anyone else on the field.
The translator voice.
Thanks to that, and the fact he was surrounded by a team that was very strong,
Yeah, but he can speak English, so they say he can
he
speak
made the
English.
difference.
potentiel, bah, il arrive à faire la différence.
In their semi-final, France faced surprise package Croatia, competing in their first World Cup finals. The Croats took the lead before an unlikely hero emerged for Les Bleus.
2 goals in his whole career.
Defender Lilian Thuram scored twice to take France to the final, just as well since Zidane hadn't been at his best.
Can you pause it though?
His only big game, his standout match, was the final. But that's what set.
So is Zidane a finals merchant?
How you mean?
He had a shit tournament. He got a red card in the semifinal. It was all Lilian Thuram, and this guy shows up with 2 goals in the final, and people give him credit for the whole thing.
Actually, no. You know what? I have never given him credits for the whole 90. I tell you, 2006, he was better. I would say I actually showed up in one game, really, in 98, which is the final.
Yeah, finals merchant, man. Except for like 2006. But.
Yeah.
Separates a good player from a very good player. It's like dreaming about the perfect holiday and actually going there.
It was the first time France had reached the final of a World Cup. They faced record 4-time champions and favourites Brazil in Paris' Stade de France.
Once or twice in your career, you need that meeting of talent with delivery.
Yep.
And that makes then the recognition, yes, this guy is exceptional.
Cue Zinedine Zidane.
The marking is terrible, though. I don't know how Brazil made it.
Brazil were not mentally, they were not ready in this game.
They weren't serious. They weren't serious.
That is then the marriage of art with mental strength. And Zidane delivered on 98 in the final.
Another rare Zidane header made it 2-0 just before half-time.
They had a man on the post.
Proof that practice does make perfect.
He had the touch of a genius, but he always told me, I'm not good with my head.
You see how he ghosted in front of 18? Like, they weren't marking him. They weren't serious.
I made him work on his heading.
This guy took credit for the World Cup. He said, I made him work on his heading.
He gave a meaning to the way France played. Take the team, despite all the goals in 1998, it was mainly defensive. Zidane gave it balance. Without him, it was a team that lacked panache, lacked a positive image.
The nation celebrated like never before.
For us, the French, it was something extraordinary.
I've been there.
Nobody had anything like it since liberation.
Is it nice?
Second
Is it
World
nice?
War.
Really nice.
Pause it.
Nobody had ever seen so many people in the street like that.
Like, how did you get there? You like walked or
Oh,
taxi?
no, it's basically I go on Uber to sort of look through the site. So the Eiffel Tower, I missed out on the Louvre, but the really famous streets and so forth.
Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, Champs-Élysées. So actually no, I walked. So I got to one area and I said, you know what, let me just walk through. So I just got my Google Maps and just walked from just in like the main city center. I just walked to the place and everything. And because basically there are like images constructed within the wall of like historical things. And it's just crazy. Like it's just like when you actually sit and really, wow, this is actually pretty.
Did you feel out of place, like as a black dude, or is it just like it's calm?
Oh no! There are so many tourists there.
Oh, okay.
Because basically you can pay to go to the very top. So this long line of tourists all paying tickets to go to the very top of the thing.
I think they say Paris is the most visited city in the world, so it's not surprising.
Or London.
No, it's facts. Like more people visit Paris than any other city because of the Eiffel Tower and the museums and all the rich shit, I guess. They got there. See, I would have thought it would have been New York City. Maybe it's the most visited city in Europe.
We've never seen the people virtually as one together.
What's there in London? London is shit.
Just the history.
2 years later at the European Championship, hosted by Belgium and
See, now
Holland,
this was where he was
spearheaded
crazy.
France's attempt to become only the second country after West Germany to
This is
hold
his
the World
prime. He's
Cup
like
and
28.
European
Pep.
Who is that? Who is that, Ronnie?
Who spearheaded France's attempt
I
to
almost
become
didn't recognize it with hair, but I was like, is it? That's Pep, is it? Look at the strips on his face.
I don't know why I just found this image so far.
Timestamp it. You know, you need a timestamp. 12:09 on this video.
Yeah. No, this would be very good to tweet. Actually, you know what I'm going to do?
Screenshot.
I'm gonna do that way.
Look at me.
to hold the World Cup and European Championships simultaneously.
You can't keep up. Yo,
help France defeat neighbors Spain.
If Madrid come back City, we gotta play this video.
It was as if in '98 France had reached the top of the mountain, and then they stayed there until 2000.
Benoit Pinseville.
And Zidane made all that happen. It was as though the French team still had a few meters left to climb to the top.
See, these are the videos we need to be watching, man.
A few meters for them, and his teammates followed.
France needed their mountaineering expertise again when Nuno Gomes gave Portugal the lead in their semi-final.
Anelka.
But the World Cup holders fought back.
Thierry.
Thierry Henry equalised early in the second half. No further goals meant extra time, and France were awarded a penalty in the dying minutes.
Oh yeah,
Zidane
Javier
scored what was a golden goal.
But you see, obviously, and I guess because it's like a Zidane documentary, they don't tell the full story. When this penalty was given, I think 3 Portuguese players were sent off, including Figo.
Yeah, well, they knew the game was over because it was golden goal. So
yeah, because it was so beautiful. Like literally, it took about 10 minutes before he took the penalty because the guys they went crazy, ballistic. So it was a very and I wish it had gone to penalties because it was a crappy way to end it. But yeah, you go.
France were on the
he
brink
still had to make it.
of Europe for the first time since 1984.
He was the leader just like Platini was in the 80s. Zidane was the leader of his generation. He was inspirational because he became the best player in the world. He was irreplaceable.
Rotterdam's Kuip Stadium hosted the final against Italy.
Oh boy. They
When
almost
France
won, man.
16 years earlier, Michel Platini was their inspiration. Zidane
Look at that team,
his
bro.
modern counterpart. But things weren't going to plan for Zizou and France when Italy took the
Vecchio.
second half lead. Then, deep in injury time, Silva scored a dramatic equaliser.
It's a really good goal.
Oh, they were 40 seconds away. 40 seconds away.
Trezeguet.
Good time. Towards the end of the first period, Robert Pires broke down the left.
Damn. You see, this is why they need to bring back Golden Goal. Golden Goal was an amazing, amazing thing, man.
Hero scoring a golden goal winner to give France the title, but Zidane's Player of the Tournament award was fully deserved.
For me, Euro 2000.
Look how no, you can't bring that. Look how sad they were, man.
The national team, one of the best players in the world, and he handled the pressure. He scored important goals and took the team to new heights. For me, that remains the most beautiful summer of Zidane's career.
However, at club level, his demons were still in evidence. In a Champions League game for Juventus at home to Hamburg, Zidane was sent off for his headbutt on
Hamburg.
Ah.
You see how we tried to dive forward?
He repeated more painfully on an even bigger stage 6 years later.
That's how all of his little evil shit he does intentionally, trying to get away with it at the same
There's a lot
time.
of pride in those outbursts. That's something that made him a winner, but it's also something that cost him dearly as well. That headbutt against Hamburg cost him the Ballon d'Or in 2000, which he deserved that year.
Oh, wow.
I think it went to Figo instead. Come on, this guy stole the video and he's putting ads on it.
I know I hate when people do that, man.
The following year, Zidane left Juventus to sign for the Spanish giants Real Madrid for a then world record fee of 76 million euros. He spearheaded President Florentino Perez's Galacticos policy, signing big-name players for big money to create a very marketable super team that would sweep all before it. Bizarrely, Zidane's career at the Bernabeu began at a meal table in Monaco.
Perez realised that he couldn't talk to Zidane.
Wait. Do they have to do that for every single jersey?
What do you mean? The press?
Yeah, like that whole press where it has to individually lift it up like that for every jersey?
As far as I know, yeah. Like
so you don't have like a machine?
The shirts are probably made by machine, but the numbering and the lettering, I think they're all done manually.
Wow.
With like the iron press things.
Directly. There was too many people there. It was impossible to get to him. So he took a napkin and he wrote, "Do you want to play for Real Madrid?" on it. Folded the napkin up and the napkin went round the table, got to Zidane. Zidane opened it.
You think he's read all those books?
Yes. The napkin went back.
And the Madrid chapter of his career began well as Real reached the final of the Champions League in his first season.
You remember shirts with no sponsors? What happened to shirts with no sponsors?
Leverkusen. Raul.
What happened to the black nets? What are the black nets?
Germans.
What?
Black nets. What happened to the black nets?
Black
you remember black nets? What? Now they're the goal. The nets are black.
Oh.
But now they're all white. What happened to black nets?
I hated the black nets. But see,
I love black nets.
Red.
Say again?
I despised non-white nets. Despised it.
Like Zidane's goal looks so much better with the black net. You'll see, because like it stopped. Well, they won't show the game footage, but it's just like it stops out of nowhere.
Sure, but everyone will remember Zidane's great goal.
This was probably the pick of a career of highlights.
Roberto Carlos. Pink. Left-footed again. But look, it just like stops out of nowhere. And the pictures from behind the goal, they always look better with the black net.
I think it was magnificent.
Bro, I think it was magnificent. Oh, really?
I think all love for the game, and not just Real Madrid fans enjoyed that goal.
I think it was magnificent.
When he really finally got accepted, it was like we've spent £40 million or £50 million on this bloke. What? And then he scored that goal, and everyone went, that's why we bought him.
That triumph gave the club its 9th European Cup, and the Galacticos policy looked set to pay dividends. Perez's dream of combining the Galacticos with the club's leading academy products, a policy labelled Zidanes y Pavones after Zidane and the youth team graduate Francisco Pavon, was ultimately flawed.
The idea is the youth teams can be the players who understand what the club's about, they can feel what the club's about, they identify with it, and the stars make it glamorous and bring the fans in. Perfect combination, it would seem. There were a number of problems with it. The idea that it was a romantic image was slightly wrong. It was also an economic reality, that by having a Pavon, you can pay him very, very little compared to the Zidane. So you can balance out the fact that you've got to pay Zidane 11 million euros a year before tax by paying someone like Pavon only 250,000 euros a year. Now that is problematic because it creates a division within the dressing room.
Constant failure in the Champions League after that success in 2002 meant
See this, look at my Kepa.
one in Zidane's 5 seasons at the Bernabeu was the domestic title in 2003, a paltry return for the huge amounts of money invested. But nobody blames Zidane. Despite the failure of Madrid's superstars like Ronaldo, Figo and David Beckham to gel as a team, he was outstanding individually. Indeed, Zizou was named FIFA World Player of the Year again in 2003.
Wow.
5 years after he first won the prestigious award while at Juventus.
Zizou was a delight for the world. When you had the ball, you gave it to him. And you knew something was going to happen.
When you had the ball, you gave it to
He was so far ahead of other players. He saw everything so easily and did everything so easily.
Fácil.
As both world and European champions, France went into the 2002 World Cup as many people's favourites to retain their crown.
What?
Zidane suffered a thigh injury in a friendly against Korea just 5 days before France's opening match against Senegal. That forced him to miss that match, which was also the tournament opener. Zidane tried to hide his disappointment, but the smile was soon to disappear. Papa Bouba Diop's first half goal gave the Africans a shock 1-0 win.
The Africans?
The talisman, Les Bleus, looked a shadow of their former selves.
What? Just all Africans who
One
just
autumn,
from
it then
Senegal.
became a 10-goalless draw with Uruguay, and French coach Roger Lemaire was forced to play an unfit Zidane in their final group game against Denmark, a match France had to win to stand any chance of progressing. With his thigh heavily bandaged, Zidane was far from his best, and France were a spent force. They lost 2-0 and went home in embarrassment, having failed to score in any of their 3 games, and with the worst record of any previous World Cup.
Why were they playing with rings?
France weren't a one-man team, but far less of a force without their fully fit playmaker.
Roger Lemaire.
He got sacked.
The French national team were World Cup holders and European champions, and had players at leading club sides. That meant their opponents faced them with something of a fear factor. Zidane contributed a lot in that respect. He was someone who provided so much to, and did so much for, the French national team.
And with the aura of invincibility surrounding France a thing of the past, the European Championship in Portugal 2 years later provided the chance for Les Bleus to sign their critics. With Zizou back to full fitness, their campaign began well.
Oh, that's close to blackface, guys. I gotta chill with that.
Oh, I remember
The
that.
captain scored twice in injury time against England in the opening game to give his country a 2-1 win. With Zidane seemingly back to his best, many were tipping France to retain their crown. And facing unfancied Greece in the quarterfinals.
How? How did this happen?
But Aguilos Haristeas' second half strike
Oh,
for the
this
eventual
dude's got a lot of
surprise
goals,
champions
man.
was the only
I
goal
remember this
that France
game.
were out. After the tournament, Zizou retired from international football, aged 32. France's lack of a replacement saw Zidane reverse that decision just over a year later. But he announced that the 2006 World Cup in Germany would mark his retirement from all forms of the game.
Those boosts are cold, bro.
He scored this outstanding solo effort in a 3-1 win over Spain in the last 16. And his penalty was the only goal of France's semi-final against Portugal. Berlin's Olympic Stadium was the venue for the final against Italy, and Zidane had the chance to give France the lead from the penalty spot. It was a chance he took. But the perfect end to an outstanding career never happened.
I felt angry. I saw it as behaviour that was detrimental to the team, that damaged our chances, and which suggested his last game
but he got you
was
there,
more
bro.
important than the World Cup final for France.
Marco Materazzi, who'd equalised for Italy to take the game into extra time, was writhing in agony on the pitch.
He left us more than disappointed. He left us as battered as Materazzi.
To everyone's astonishment, television replays showed Zidane had headbutted Materazzi in the chest. It was also seen by the fourth official, who informed the Argentine referee Horacio Elizondo. He had no option but to show Zidane the red card.
He tried to argue it.
2 seconds after his headbutt on Materazzi, the whole of France said, "What an idiot. Why did he do that? You can't do that in the final of the World Cup. You can't take the law into your own hands in a final like that." He not only hurt the team, it was like he'd kicked his teammates.
Later, it was revealed that Materazzi had insulted Zidane's sister, and France, without their captain, went on to lose the final on penalties.
The following day, everyone forgave Zidane. What had achieved in his career overshadowed the mistake he made.
The French are weird, man. The next day, everyone forgave him.
They say all geniuses.
But you know, the funny thing that look at who on the look at the guy that actually understands him.
The whole of France said,
Look at the guy that gives him
"Why did he
a
do
pat
that?
on the back.
You can't do that in the final of the World Cup. You can't take the law into your own hands in a final like that." He not only hurt the team, it was like he'd kicked his teammates.
Later, it was revealed that Materazzi had insulted Zidane's sister, and France, without their captain, went on to lose the final on penalties.
The following day, everyone forgave Zidane. What had
My
achieved
man.
in his career overshadowed the mistake he made, which was-
He's probably like, I got to touch the dead. That's probably what it is, man.
They say all geniuses are flawed, and Zidane certainly fits into that category.
Zidane was football's answer to the Bolshoi ballet. And I think that's absolutely true. Zidane was elegance above all else.
His skill, control, and vision made playing the game look easy.
We can see why he was number one, not only for what he did during matches, but also for what he did in training sessions. I remember seeing him in training, and I said, "That's just incredible."
He was one of a rare breed, a player who fans pay to watch.
Zidane is an exceptional
They
coordinator
didn't talk about the Brazil game.
of the ball.
Mm.
And every area, 3
It's
yards
like his
away,
greatest ever game.
could give him the ball where you want it. He puts it down and plays.
Shy and introvert off the pitch. On it, he let his feet do all the talking.
And his head.
There was no chance of truly finding a way of stopping him. There was no secret against Zidane.
Merci beaucoup for the memories, Zizou.
Oh, Richard Keys. Interesting.
Yeah, you didn't notice. What a story, man.
Interesting, man.
I wish they would have gone back to the hood a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because they didn't show when he returned back to Algeria as an adult.
Because they started in Marseille, but they didn't go back to Marseille when he fucked up. That would have been interesting. Like, what did y'all think about this guy headbutted somebody? Or like, what did you think about him like being such a big star for France, even though he's Algerian? And knowing that dynamic, but you know, ours was better. Put it that way. So no, okay. How did you enjoy that, man? Did you like it? Oh, come on.
No. I mean, it could have been better. Really? I think they sort of breezed through things. It was alright, but I think
they clearly only had 30 minutes.
You know, basically, look, I can only tell you how I initially feel. I feel like, this is good. Like, okay, this is well done, and it's good for 30 minutes, but you could have delved in a lot deeper.
Can you scroll down and see how long the Ronaldo one, the Ronaldinho one is, rather? Yeah, like these guys only have 26 and a bit minutes to cram as much information as they can about all these guys. So
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, for 26 minutes, I suppose. Yeah, it's
Like,
it's good. You know,
if
they hit all the key points.
if it was 26 minutes on the 2006 World Cup, then I would have been like, oh, this is probably really good because they would have had all the footage and
Yeah.
it would have been more specific to a moment, which 25 minutes you can do. 25 minutes for somebody's whole life and a life like that, where you're France, Italy,
You
Spain.
need
Yeah, you need an hour in order to really hit the points. So that's why ours was 55 minutes. But yeah, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Especially like there's something different with like podcasts. So like the one that we did about his life, it's kind of hard to just show the balletic, elegant nature of him. But when you have video clips that you can use, it's never going to be bad, is it? Because you can just
it's like cheating almost.
Yeah, like it's good. It's just too good. So yeah, in terms of like the production quality, I'd give it like probably like an 8, maybe a 9. Like just the way they use the clips and the way they use music and the voiceover is like it didn't distract. And the little bit of French that I know, like I could tell like the subtitles or the voiceovers were pretty accurate to what the guys were saying, so that wasn't too bad. And in terms of my enjoyment, you know, it's Zidane, so like a 9 or a 10. And we got the Pep clip, which I thought was very funny.
That's see. I wish I could just use that as a GIF. You know.
You can. I'm sure there's a way to do it.
I know you can. Yeah, you can make a GIF. Yeah. Oh, Pep.
Screenshot it.
Yeah, for screenshot. Yeah.
all we need is for Zidane to beat him in the Champions League. I'm backing this clip out. I'm just it was 12:09? Is that what it was? 12:09. Okay. All right. Nah, this is interesting. This is cool. Like, so type in, can you like delete Zidane at the top in the search bar and just look up football's greatest and see like how many of these. So we know there's a Ronaldinho one, but how many others are there? So we got a Pirlo, Ronaldo. Okay. We got George Best, Ronaldinho, Maldini, Kaká, Henry, Figo, Gerrard, Rivellino. Bro, we might make this a series.
Yeah, man.
Maradona, Maria. Cristiano, Batistuta, Cruyff, Dalglish, Hadji. Yeah, Xavi. Oh, they have football's greatest managers, football's greatest players, and then football's greatest teams. Interesting. Okay. See, these are probably like, you know, when there's nothing to show on Sky Sports, they probably just show these like, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes.
It's just something just to while away the time.
Because these are all different channels as well. Like they're not from the same channel at all. So yeah, let us know what you guys want us to watch. Not obviously limited to this, but if you want us to watch a particular player, let us know. Shout out to I think Ibrahim in the comments who gave us the suggestion of Zidane. Let us know what you guys think, man, about Zidane, about his career. See, this is the thing though, man. If obviously, I don't want this conversation to run on too long, but just like if you could give me like a paragraph on this. If you don't give Zidane that much credit for 98, how is he still a horseman?
2006.
But he didn't win it.
But it's a combination. So if you combine the 2 goals in the 98 final and the performance in 2006, that's a combination of like, yeah.
So he has a Franken Cup, like a Frankenstein World Cup,
Yeah, you could argue. Yeah. You take his performance in the World Cup final '98 and his performance in the 2016. But specifically what he did in '06, I was like, now this is greatness. But and you already have the World Cup, it's cool. But that's what he did in '06 as a guy coming out of retirement, different. That's different source.
But the other four,
see this thing. See, when I see that, that's when I'm like, okay, you guys can have your Cristiano and all that kind of stuff on your brain. You're cool. That when you just start focusing like, yeah, that's what I grew up on. Where there is a beauty to it. I want to be entertained. I want to see beauty. I don't care about stats.
But if you think if you put classical music behind Cristiano and slowed it down to the right speed, you could get that emotion?
No. because the thing about this is, forget the classical music. When I was watching him with my brothers, we were like, man, look at what this guy's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So even when during live games, I was like, man, this guy's just on a different level, So,
all right. So yeah, there's a bunch of options. So if you guys want us to watch particular players, let us know, and we will do it. So this has been Talking Tactics Extra. Shout out to Zidane. Shout out all the rest of them, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.